Good morning, bird brains, and welcome back to episode 7 of the Fat Bob build series, where we're taking what used to be a plain old stock Harley Fat Bob 114 and turning it into a badass one-of-a-kind machine. If that sounds like something you're into, go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out our 3 previous builds at the link down in the description. On today's video, we're gonna be finishing up the handlebar install, as well as hopefully getting this rear wheel back on, along with the clutch cable replacement. Let's get into it. So in case you missed last episode, we had an issue with the rear wheel where I broke off one of the bolts in a stupid, lapse of judgment. I was not able to get that bolt out. I got about 2/3 of it out, and then on the last third, I ended up actually breaking my extractor bolt into the wheel as well. So we dropped it off with our good buddy Super Dave over at Extreme Power Sports here in San Antonio, and he said it took him 20 minutes, of course. I mean, who knows? Super Dave's kind of full of shit sometimes, so we'll see if that is actually true. But he got the rest of it out, and he was actually nice enough to go ahead and tap out the rest of the threads as well. Hopefully I'll be going and getting that today, and it will make it in this episode. If not, it will be in next episode for sure. We're kind of operating on a time crunch once again because we had some parts that we needed to get before filming this episode. Speaking of parts, so all the parts that you see here are hopefully what we're going to be getting on the bike today. Everything from here over came from our sponsors over at Get Lowered Cycles. We got our throttle-by-wire extension as well as our turn signal extension. We went ahead and got replacement bushing since the last ones that we got did not quite work well. And then we also got the Roland Sands Design Clarity clutch cover. Now, I will say these parts right here are very expensive and they're not everyone's taste. I kind of like the whole see-through look. I know it's kind of cliche and some people don't like it, but I really like it. And the reason that these are so expensive is because they actually put a lot of time into R&D to make sure that you can get this cool, clear cover thing and without it having any sort of leaking or anything like that. And then of course over here we have our kickstand from Get Lowered. You've already seen this. The one part that we got in last was this right here, which is the bottom to the cruise control. So this little extra hole right here is to fit the little cruise control knob down here at the bottom of this module. I think the first thing I'm going to tackle is going to be the clutch because I don't have a ton of experience in replacing those clutch lines, so it might take the longest. I've watched a couple videos, it doesn't seem too difficult. So we're going to go ahead and slap that new clutch cover on. I did get a new gasket, I did get more transmission fluid. I'm just using Sen 3 for now. I'm not upgrading to Redline or anything like that for now, just because I just want to get this bike back in running order so I can ride a little bit. We're getting into the riding season here and I want to get this bike at least able to be ridden in the time being. So enough of me blabbering, let's get to work. I literally might be one of the stupidest people on this planet. I feel like the government should mandate that I get neutered just to make sure that I don't reproduce. So, first off, let's have a little story time here. I was not able to find the gasket last night when I was planning on doing this build. And I was like, oh well, I must have misplaced it. I'll just go get another one tomorrow. Thankfully, I didn't go get another one. I just ended up finding my original one. And then I realized I did not get bolts, which it's not a huge deal on something like this because it's not a really high torque bolt and they don't get chewed up as much as, for example, the pulley bolts. So I was like, oh well, let's see if I have some in the new package. So I open it up and there's new hardware, really nice new hardware. I was like, sweet. And I open the package and I see a gasket. So I was like, I could have filmed this last night. Oh well, all I lost was time. Then I go to install it and I realize this isn't the right part. This is for the hydraulic clutch models. See, that's why this little port is on the left side and not the right side where the cable goes into, so. This build is cursed. I should call Oh no. I should call this shuttle the Challenger because it feels like it's been doomed since the beginning. That's in poor taste, but I had to make the joke, I'm sorry. So I just sent an email to Get Lowered to see if I can swap it out. If not, no big deal, because this fits on the Ultra, the Battle Donkey, the bike you see right there. So if I can't get it swapped out, no big deal. I'll have a clarity cover on the Battle Donkey because I didn't upgrade that. All I did was have the stock one powder coated. But that delays the bike getting back into running order by at least a couple more days. It definitely will not make it on this episode. So the only thing I can do now is get to work on the bars, finish the bars off, hopefully get the tank and everything back on. So let's actually get to work now.
You pledge to the Biker Bird Patreon.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Exclusive behind-the-scenes footage, Discord group chat access, discounts on merch, pledges to the monthly give back. All of this and more could be yours by simply visiting the Patreon link below. Handlebars, helmets, Cardo communicators, and much more are on the give back list where we select 3 winners every single month. So get the lead out of your panties and click that link. Now, back to the video.
All right guys, quick update on what we've gotten done so far. So she's finally starting to look like a bike again, guys. Oh man, it feels good to see her at least somewhat back together. I was able to get the cruise control and everything on. Also replaced it with new grips. These are the Built Well Kung Fu grips. These are the same grips I had on the Dyna. You can get these at getlower.com, link in description. All this is fully well, it's not technically operational now because I still have to get it turned on, but all the buttons and everything are working. Also did the throttle side with the new grip. I know a lot of people ask if you have to replace the throttle tube. You do not have to replace the throttle tube on these throttle by wire. You cut off the grip and peel it off just like you would on any other bike. I actually had a spare one, so I mean this is what it looks like when you take it off. And this is the grip that I peeled off of it. Easiest way I found to do this is to cut it into like 3 or 4 pieces and then heat up about maybe an inch at a time. It makes it super easy to come off. So heat up about that much, peel this back all the way around, and then do another inch, and then usually by the second time you can just peel off the entire grip off of it. And then if you saw me spraying liquid, I use hairspray. This is just hairspray you can get at the dollar store or whatever. You spray it on, it acts as a lubricant, and then it acts as a mild adhesive, so it keeps the grips in place once they're on. And it's a lot easier to take the grips off later down the road if you ever need to take them off, as opposed to using something like grip glue, which is what causes this to be a pain in the ass to come off. That's an old motocross trick. I use it on, well, not anymore, because actually the motocross grips have gotten more advanced than these, where they actually have an Allen bolt that kind of screws into the grip. But anyways, that's an old trick I used to use on my old dirt bikes. Makes it super easy to get the grips on. Maybe you have something better. If you have a better idea, let me know down in the description. I've tried the little air trick, and I can never get it to work right. I don't think that my tip on my air sprayer is small enough. Got a wide tip, so what can you do, am I right? I also went ahead and got the power vision on here. I'm not 100% set on where it is right now. I kind of just wired it up to be visible. I'm gonna wait until I get the fairing and everything on to see kind of how I like it to sit. But right now it sits right above the speedometer, so I think it's a good position there. I might just kind of change up the way it's actually mounted. Like I said, I'm not going to do any final touches until it's all put back together. And then I got all the wiring nice and cleaned up. It actually cleaned up pretty nice. It looks a little messy right now, but I just left a little bit more slack than I needed to. That way, when I get the bike off the lift, I can test to see how much slack I actually need for the left to right action on the handlebars prior to doing the final cleanup. But got everything weather sealed and tight, taped up, heat shrinked. Looks really good, and it should keep all the moisture out of there. And now pretty much all I have left to do before we get the wheel back is to get the front fender and the headlight back on. I'm not going to put the headlight surround on. One, because I have my straps in the way right now, and two, I might just go ahead and go straight into the fairing install for next episode, so I don't want to put something on just to take it right back off. But yeah, let's get back to work. wheel was a pain in the ass. I know I probably made it look easy on video, but that was not the first nor the last time I had to install that axle. Forgot a piece the first time, so I had to redo it, but it's on now, it's on right, all the bolts are in, all the holes were nice and clean, brand new bolts, and these new tires, along with this white pulley, just looks so good. Really glad I went ahead and pulled the trigger on these Shinkos. I think it really gives the bike a whole new aggressive look, plus this white is going to pop once we get this bike painted. So if you can kind of picture it in your head, that white is going to be pretty much the entire color of the tins, and up here on the switch housings as well. You can kind of start to get the idea of the white kind of tying in. Also, I'm not set on these mirrors. I'm gonna get the fairing on first before I decide how I'm going to have mirrors. I like the look of the stock ones. I might flip them under the bars. I want them to be functional as well, so that will also determine how I put them on. But they look kind of funky right now. They look like they're sticking way up there, but I think once we get the fairing and windshield on, it'll look a lot less funky. And if not, if it doesn't look less funky and it still looks funky, we'll go ahead and make it look a little less funky. Also, an update on the clutch. I did contact Get Lowered, and they are going to be either swapping it out or sending me a replacement. I haven't really decided on it just yet. I can use that piece on the Battle Donkey, and I have the stock one just powder coated black on the Battle Donkey, so I might go ahead and just eat the extra money. But like I said, those parts are not cheap, man. I know you guys think I get all this stuff for free. I don't. I do get a discount, but that is still a very expensive part. Even with the discount. So I'll have to kind of weigh my options, but next episode, whether I choose to replace it or just keep the stock one and maybe do it later down the line, that will be next episode for sure. Probably along with the fairing install as well. And after that, we need to take it to the dealership, get the brakes flushed, get the cruise control turned on, and while I'm there, I will probably be picking out a bike that we will be swapping controls with. So I talked to Cowboys, and they're gonna let me basically give them my bike and have them swap mid controls onto this bike, and then they will take my further reach mid, whatever the they call them. Basically just do a swap, and then I'll pay for labor. I tried to do it myself, but they weren't too comfortable with it. I totally understand there's a lot of liability that goes into that, so I don't fault them for that at all. But at the end of the day, I want mid controls on this bike, and I will pay to get them essentially. So it's a lot cheaper doing that than actually, you know, buying all the parts and putting them on myself. So shout out to Cowboys for allowing me to do that. And then we should be ready to start tearing down the motor. I'm not looking forward to that, guys. I'm really not. I just want to ride this bike. I tried to get this bike done in the winter, and with all the delays and everything, it's literally going to be torn down in the height of riding season. So I might have to reevaluate the schedule or something like that, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. All right, guys. Once again, if you're interested in any of these parts, all the build list is down in the description. Full disclosure, those are affiliate links, so if you click those and purchase something, I do get a kickback from it. It does support the channel. Other than that, if you like this video, go and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. See you guys next time.